All right, so I had a few people that requested to see an example of what I did with OneNote to use it as a daily or weekly planner for my classes. So I thought it would be a good idea to just do a quick demonstration instead of sending out the files because they have all of my stuff in them. But at least this way you could see what I'm doing. Of course, I can send you my stuff if you're still interested in it. So I have these notebooks, and of course I have a personal notebook, and then I have my work notebook, and this is actually a notebook that we had used as a repository for information for a PD that we did in the district. So I got my work notebook here, and in this notebook you can see that I have these three different groups for these three different school years, and so I'll show you 2016-17 and kind of what it looks like at the end of the year. After we've gone through it all. So across the top, what you see is you see tabs for each big group section of information that I have. So I have, we're on semesters, and we have 5 periods in a day. And so I have my classes set up like this, and I label them S2, S3, S4, S5. So I have first period planning, so I have second period for spring, third, fourth, and fifth for spring. And then I have other things that I do as well. I have we do Monday meetings, and I have my FBLA stuff over here. So any of the different tabs that I want to collect information for a certain thing, I will do up here. And what's great about it is at the end of a semester, in our case, is that I don't need my fall classes to be up front, because what OneNote will do is it will bring forward the things that you're using most often if your window's not big enough, so, or not wide enough. So what I can do is I can actually click a tab, and I can move it, and I can drag it all the way down here to the end of wherever I want it. So I get it out of the way, so the things that I need up front, I have up front that I'm using on a daily basis. So great to be able to use for all sorts of things that you're in charge of, responsible for, or just want to collect information on. So I have my second period class here, and then I have, and you'll see that I have a tab for all of my classes. And then inside each section, I have these pages over here, and the pages essentially contain what I do every week, and they have the plans, and then they also, as they're happening, they have notes of what actually might have happened or actually did happen. So the way that I set it up is I start with a weekly template, and so I build this, and then I'll put it on. Most of the time I just put it on the first page, but I do know that sometimes I put it on each individual page if I see that the year is going where it's not all matching up. But what I like to do is I like to start by copying this. I would start the week like this. I would copy this page, and I would copy it right to where we are. And I'd say, okay, I'm going to go into this year, into the same notebook that I'm in, and I would hit copy. And so you'll see it puts it down here at the bottom. And so then I would go into that template, and I would rename it with the current date. And so it's July, what is it, the 10th. So, and however you name it. So apparently I was naming it like this. So I'll try to stay consistent. And I'll say the week's going to be over on the 14th. So I would name it like that. And then you'll see it's named down here. And so it's great because it keeps it in chronological order for you. Of course, you can also move these things if you want and reorder them, but I like it in chronological order. So seems to make more sense. So what I'll do at the beginning of the week is I will create the template here, and I'll fill in this information over here for anything that's common that's going to affect or disrupt the week. So I might put in like on Tuesday where I'm gonna be out, so it's going to be field trip, or maybe on Friday we're going to have a pep rally. And so I'll make note of that in this section, And then after I've done that, I don't fill it in for digital literacy. I then copy it. So I go up here and I say copy page 2, and I would then copy it over, and I would go into each class that I have, and I would copy it again. And so you got to, it's a little cumbersome. You can't copy to multiple pages or multiple sections at one time. But then what you'd see is you go over here, and I have a new section, and then I could go and I could personalize it. So I would go back here after I copied this over, and I would fill in my opener here, and then I would fill in my learning targets, and I would do that for the whole week for this class. And it's great because after a long weekend, you might go, what did we do last week? And so you can go into what you did the prior week and see where you left off, and then you can pick up there or do whatever you need to do to get your plan set up. So, and then you can go to the next class and do the same thing. So it makes it incredibly easy to have all of the things that are common from one class to the next that are going to maybe interrupt a day. I like it because I can get it all up front, get it on each class, and then I remember those things when I'm planning, because you know how it is when you're ready to teach something up, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, we got that testing, or we got that speaker that's coming in that's talking to all the sophomores, or whatever it may be. You have that stuff that's in there. All right, so that's how I set up. That's how I set up each week. So when I'm planning for the next week, that's how I start the week. It makes planning incredibly simple. It's easy to figure out where you left off, what worked. If you taught this class last year, you can certainly go back and you can look at the previous year and find that class. And maybe you remember spring semester was particularly rough. You can go in, look at what you did, look at any notes that you might have given to yourself to fix for next time. So it's great to have that sort of thing in here. So other things that I do with this is I will actually go in, and as I'm going along, one thing I love about it is that what I do every week is I will start. I'll open up a Word document. So every day I start by opening up a blank Word document, and then I'll go in and I'll actually copy the opener and the learning targets for the day. And so I'll take my first period of the day, whichever it is, and I'll go in here and I will paste in that opener, and then I'll create a new page for my next period class, and then I'll go over to here and I'll go to my next period's class, and I'll go into the opener and the learning targets for that class, and I'll copy that, and then I'll go over here and I'll paste that stuff in. And so what happens then is when I'm projecting this stuff, so I project my openers and my learning targets on the board or on the screen every day. So all I have to do is I have my learning targets and my openers already set up before my classes are starting, so that as the next period starts, I can simply project this onto the screen, and the openers up there and the learning targets are up there, and I don't have to worry about writing that stuff up there, putting it, erasing the previous class and putting this stuff up there. It just makes it quick, simple, and it's easy to refer back to. So that's one of the benefits that I see from this, is that I get my learning targets up there. It makes planning pretty simple. What's really great is if you have two classes that are the same in the same semester, you can actually copy, do your planning one time for the whole week, and then copy that page over to the other section of that class, And so you have, at the beginning of the week, you have two identical plans, possibly. And then as things go awry and one class gets ahead of the other, you can make notes separately, and then you can know where each class is individually instead of getting confused about who you said what to throughout the day. And then another thing I do is I'll take notes. So I'll say, okay, I wanted to get through all of objective 1 and I didn't. Instead, I got up to navigating. So that tells me, okay, well, I got to start at navigating then, and then it's easy for me to pick up where we left off. Other things that I keep track of, we have Monday meetings, and so what's great about those is these are kind of like they're kind of like mini staff meetings. So I'll whip out my phone because these notebooks sync across all of these devices if you have OneNote installed on them. And so I can easily take notes and have all of our pertinent dates, information that we might need to have. And then when I'm sitting at my desk, voila, it's there again, and I have all of that stuff available to me. So that's what it looks like in the classes. I set up a template, and then I use that template to populate the whole semester's dates. When I'm starting a new school year, it is pretty similar. You can see that I've got the fall semester already set up. I've got 4 periods. I'm teaching the first 4 periods. I have a planning 5th period. And so basically I've got my template ready to go, and my other sections are completely blank. And as we start to populate the weeks, I'll start copying these things over, and it'll fill up. Things that I like about it is that I'm also coaching girls golf, so I can put information in here. I can see uses where you might have a page for each player that's on your team and things that you want to speak to that player about individually. And if you've got this with you and you've got this synced up on your phone, you're able to make notes while you're out there coaching, or while you're on the court or the field or whatever it may be, coaching things up. So it's a great way to keep that information. So there you go. If you have any other questions, or you want to see something else, please feel free to call, text, or email me, and I'll do what I can for you.